In the world of sports, athletes often become heroes, celebrated for their incredible feats of strength, skill, and endurance. But behind the fame and glory, some have harbored dark secrets. Driven by rage, jealousy, or desperation, these sports stars crossed a line that left an indelible stain on their legacy. Their moments of triumph are forever overshadowed by the chilling acts of violence they committed, leading to shocking revelations and tragic consequences. These stories serve as a stark reminder that even our heroes are human, capable of the most unthinkable actions. This is the story of athletes who have killed someone. In 2010, Brazilian soccer star Bruno Fernandez de Souza, known as Goleiro Bruno, orchestrated a heinous crime that shocked the world. He ordered the kidnapping, torture, and murder of his ex-girlfriend, Elisa Samudio, who had recently given birth to his child. Bruno refused to support the child, leading Elisa to sue him for paternity. On June 9, 2010, Elisa was kidnapped and taken to a shed in Belo Horizonte, where she was tortured and strangled to death. Her body was then dismembered and parts were fed to Bruno's dogs. This is too barbaric to even comprehend. We can't imagine the terror she must have felt in the final moments of her much too short life. Bruno was arrested and, in 2013, sentenced to 22 years in prison for his role in the crime. Despite the severity of his actions, Bruno was controversially released on parole in 2017, having served only part of his sentence. Elisa Samudio, who was only 25, deserved a life far better than the one brutally taken from her. This tragic case highlights the deep-rooted issues of violence against women. May she rest in eternal peace. In 1997, bodybuilder Burt Fox, known as Brutal Bertle, fatally shot his former fiancée Laoka Brown and her mother Violet Brown in St. Kitts. Fox claimed the shootings were accidental, but he was convicted of double murder and initially sentenced to death. This was later commuted to life imprisonment. After serving 25 years, Fox was pardoned in 2022 and now lives in the UK. This case marked a dramatic fall from grace for the former Mr. Universe. In the early hours of March 14, 2009, former NFL wide receiver Dantestalworth made a choice that would haunt him forever. After a night out, Stalworth, legally intoxicated with a blood alcohol level of 0.126, drove his Bentley along the MacArthur Causeway in Miami. He struck and killed 59-year-old Mario Reyes, who was crossing the street to catch a bus after work. Driving at 50 miles per hour in a 40 miles per hour zone, Stalworth flashed his headlights to warn Reyes, but it was too late. The crash was fatal. Grief-stricken, Stalworth took full responsibility, pleading guilty to DUI manslaughter. He served 24 days in jail, a year of house arrest, and was suspended for the 2009 NFL season. Picture this. Former NFL player Henry Ruggs driving his Corvette at an insane 156 miles per hour. Yes, you heard that right. 156 miles per hour. That blur you see? That's Ruggs speeding. Let's slow it down for a moment because what happened next was devastating. Ruggs, under the influence with a blood alcohol level twice the legal limit, slammed into Tina Tintor's car. The impact caused her vehicle to burst into flames. Tragically, Tina, just 23 years old, and her beloved golden retriever Max couldn't escape and died in the fire. Ruggs survived the crash but faced serious consequences. This tragic incident serves as a grim reminder of the dangers of drunk driving and reckless speed. We wish Tina's family and friends immense strength during this difficult time. In 1991, professional skateboarder Mark Gatorrowski committed a shocking and brutal crime. He raped and murdered 22-year-old Jessica Bergston in Carlsbad, California. He struck her with a metal steering wheel lock, raped her, and then suffocated her. Her remains were found buried in a shallow grave in the desert. Rogowski was convicted in 1992 and sentenced to 31 years to life in prison. Despite his efforts at rehabilitation, including creating self-help programs and participating in various reform activities, his parole has been repeatedly denied. In 2022, his parole was granted but later reversed by Governor Gavin Newsom. Jessica Bergston deserved so much more. May she rest in peace. In 1994, former NFL star O.J. Simpson was at the center of one of the most infamous murder trials in history. On June 12, 1994, his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman were brutally stabbed to death outside Nicole's condo in Brentwood, California. This led to a dramatic low-speed chase in a white Ford Bronco, broadcast live as Simpson attempted to evade the police. The trial, which began in 1995, featured iconic moments, including the infamous glove demonstration, where Simpson tried on gloves found at the crime scene. His defense attorney, Johnny Cochran, famously argued, "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit."
It doesn't fit. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Despite compelling DNA evidence, Simpson was acquitted of the murders in a verdict that deeply divided public opinion. Nicole and Ron's tragic deaths remain a stark reminder of domestic violence and its devastating impact. May they rest in peace. Robert Rosier's life took a dark turn after his brief NFL career with the St. Louis Cardinals ended due to drug allegations. In the 1980s, he joined the Nation of Yahweh, a black supremacist cult in Miami, led by Yahweh Ben Yahweh. Rosier, renamed Neriah Israel, became deeply involved in the cult's violent activities, including the murder of 6 people as part of the Death Angels, a group within the cult. In 1986, Rosier participated in the murders of Anthony Brown and Rudolph Broussard. His subsequent arrest and cooperation with authorities resulted in a reduced sentence of 22 years in exchange for testifying against Yahweh ben Yahweh and other cult members. Later, Rosier was imprisoned for 25 years to life under California's three strikes law for repeated offenses involving check fraud. His story is a stark example of how extremist ideologies can lead to heinous acts. These tales of athletes who cross the line from hero to criminal serve as a haunting reminder of the duality of human nature. Their actions not only ended lives, but also shattered the myth of invincibility that often surrounds sports icons. As we reflect on these tragic stories, we must remember the victims and the families left in their wake. If you found this exploration intriguing, don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth stories and analyses. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we uncover the hidden sides of those we idolize.